That was the chaotic Friday night scene on the House floor when a visibly frustrated Representative Mike Rogers approached Matt Gaetz and was restrained with a hand to the face by a fellow representative. Now, this is, of course, during the debacle involving House Leader Kevin McCarthy. They had to do 15 votes before he finally got elected as House Speaker. But with the so-called moderate wing of the Republican Party feeling this fury toward the holdouts like Matt Gaetz, things did in fact get pretty heated. So since the audio wasn't captured in the video of Rogers' lunge at Gaetz, we didn't really know what was being said. But thanks to reporters in the room, CNN has revealed more details about how and why this went down. Let's take a look.
We are told that he had threatened to kick some of the holdouts off of their committee assignments if they didn't fall in line. So he was so frustrated, he came down the aisle, and sources told Annie Guerra that he basically said, "Matt, you're finished," to him. And at that point, Hudson, another member, came up behind him, sort of muzzled him and tried to hold him back so he wasn't able to speak anymore.
Things got physical. I don't know, man. I mean, I was watching a CNN interview where a different representative was making the argument that, Mike Rogers was fine. He wasn't doing anything wrong. The only thing that was violent was the other lawmaker who grabbed him by the face. I don't know what I believe. All I know is it was chaos. And now they're all pretending like, no, we're all homies. We're all buddies. Nothing went wrong.
Yeah, okay. So I'm gonna shock the world a little bit here and commend them. And on both fronts. Number one, I didn't mind them fighting. Mainstream media was like, "Oh my God, is this a national security?" It's not them fighting physically, but it taking 15 votes and the two sides being so entrenched, etc. No, that's politics. And as I explained on Friday's show, Gaetz's crew actually got a number of semi-real concessions. So at the end of the day, for all the heat that they took home a bunch of prizes. And so it was not so badly played if you care about how you do hardball politics. And then Mike Rogers, though, is super pissed at them. And by the way, you should know, it might also be personal because they were demanding committee spots, and the old school guys that back McCarthy, like Mike Rogers, already have those committee spots. And so Rogers is not just pissed about ideology or hurting the Republican Party. It might be a personal affront to his power, okay? But I don't begrudge that. He got a little heated. He didn't actually hit him. I don't really care about that. And now they're getting back together and saying, hey, it's all good. We're still part of the same team. Not so bad.
I say it's bad.
Yeah, okay.
Let them fight.
Yeah, but I know, but by the way, also let them fight. Okay. Yeah. So I mean, everybody's a winner, and so I don't think it's outrageous what happened on any of these fronts. What's going to be outrageous is what Mike Rogers and Matt Gaetz agreed to, not what they disagreed on. And what they're about to agree on is let's gut the IRS to make sure our rich friends get richer.
Let's hear from Republican lawmaker Tim Burchett, who was actually right next to Gaetz and Rogers while this whole thing went down. He had a fascinating explanation as to why this happened.
Obviously, people were exhausted last night. Tempers were flaring. It was late at night. Tell us what you saw. What was happening in the lead up to this moment?
Well, you're correct. It was very late. You realize that both sides have some older members, and it was getting late. And I suspect most of them had missed the early bird special at the Sizzler, so they were getting a little cantankerous.
Dude, I get it. I totally get it. In fact, something I didn't say as we were covering the whole speaker debacle was how unbelievably annoyed I would be if I had to keep voting again and again. You have to be in that chamber for hours on end, just witnessing this ridiculous power struggle. So even if I weren't hungry, even if I wasn't looking forward to the, what did you say, early bird special or anything like that? Yeah, at the end of the day, I would just be annoyed that I'm sitting there when I could be doing anything else.
Yeah, so there was a moment in the early votes where some rando Republican was like, I hear the Democrats are drinking while we're voting. It's unacceptable. I'm like, no, that's actually the best thing they've done. First of all, they ain't got nothing to do with your fight. They're all voting for Hakeem Jeffries every time. Do they really have to squint while they're doing it? Do they have to concentrate really hard? If I was them, I'd be drinking a lot more. It was like, I've never been more proud of Democrats, if it was true, right? So I don't think that's the issue at all. But I love the lines. The early bird special, cantankerous, all of that sounds incredibly right.
Oh, cantankerous is a great word. Very impressed with its accurate usage there. The thing that I will say though is, okay, fine. It got a little heated on the House floor. They made amends. They're good now. But what I don't understand is using the kind of rhetoric lawmakers like, let's say, Don Bacon used, Dan Crenshaw used in describing the holdouts, words like terrorist, political terrorists. And now they're like pretending like, no, it's all good. Everything's all good. I don't know, Cenk, you and I are just different people, right? You are you give a lot of people leeway, a lot of leeway. You're super kind, understanding. I'm not saying I'm not kind. I'm definitely less understanding than you are. But you're gonna call me a terrorist on the national stage? Oh, I'm gonna remember. There's no kumbaya after that, okay? So you better watch out.
Yeah, you call Casper a name she doesn't like. We're gonna get a never forget at some point. No, look, everyone knows. No, look, we're both care about people in exactly the same way. You just like to sprinkle a little bit of salt into that caring, okay? So you're salt boo, and that's the difference between you and me. But for me, it's all about eyes on the prize. So if somebody calls me a terrorist and then later they want to vote to get money out of politics, come on in, brother. Water's warm.
No, I agree with you on that, right? When it comes to accomplishing an important specific policy goal, yeah, we could put our differences aside specifically for that. But I don't trust you and I'm gonna get you. I don't know when or how, but I will. So for instance, Don Bacon, we did the story where on multiple occasions he referred to the holdouts as political terrorists. Let's go to graphic 3 here, where now he says, last week saw healthy debate in the election of the Speaker of the United States House, but at the cost of Congress doing its job for the American people. I mean, I call my friends terrorists every single day, don't you?
Well, look, here's the thing though. I might have a bit of a Muslim perspective on this. I've been called terrorist by the right wing so many times, just based on the fact that, my origin, that I feel like that's Tuesday. So I don't catch a lot of feelings over it. But since these Republicans have never faced that in their entire lives, they might have caught feelings over it that they're smoothing over now. But Anna, don't get me wrong, like they're gonna have their list too, right? And I'm gonna have my list too, and everybody is gonna use those lists at different times. Do you think Matt Gaetz has really let it go? No. Do you think Kevin McCarthy's really let it go? No. And they're gonna look to knife each other when it makes sense. And in politics, that's kind of how it should be. And for me, once you get on my list, that is a long campaign to make sure that you do not succeed in life. It's a calm, smiling campaign throughout, but the knife is long and it is inevitable.
Oh God, you get me so excited when you talk about vengeance. Okay.
And of course, it's all metaphorical, guys. Metaphorical.
Of course.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.